Creating video content for YouTube. In this video, we will discuss on how do you create actual video, what is the proper process, how do you prepare. So before you record video for YouTube, you must have a script. Your main goal for script writing is understanding how you will retain attention of the viewer. You must understand that this is the way you retain the attention. Script for YouTube should have the following elements. You have hook, introduction, call to action, some useful information. You have to ask people to stick around for more information except of the content they have actually clicked on, and then content itself. So content itself is very important, but it's just one point here. It doesn't mean it's just one element same as all the other elements. This is the most important element here. And then you have bonus and again call to action. Let's go through all of this one by one. So hook, what is hook? Hook is where you explain people what is the content that you are going to be covering and delivering. The reason you have hook is that because you want people to understand what they will get, and so that they don't click away when you will say introduction, CTA, and things like this. So hook should be like 7 seconds, and it should include information that will attract people to the content that you're going to deliver in the next parts of the video. Then you say introduction. Introduction is why should people watch your video and listen to you specifically? Are you an expert? Do you have experience? Why do you talk about this? Is it your passion? What's going on here? And etc. and so on. Call to action, we call it CTA. It's when you say, guys, before I go further, subscribe because I will have more information or more videos on this topic released. So you will not miss anything if you subscribe. So it's important to understand that you always have to say why your viewers should subscribe. You don't just ask them to subscribe, you say why. And then before you go to the content, actual content, you have to say what useful information they can find in description in case you have. Let's say you can say, for more information about this project, click the link in description below, or to find the presentation or deck on this topic that you will hear right now, go to description and find the link there. Something like that. You have to encourage people to go in description and see the description because it's additional way to connect with your audience. But not necessary to do this if you actually don't have something to put in description. If it's just your contact details, you always can say just few words for people to follow you, and it would go to the end, to the CTA at the end. So if you don't have useful information in terms of having additional document to share with people, some free things to share with people, then you don't use this useful information here. Next one, ask people to stick around to the end because you will have a bonus there. So imagine that you have in this video 5 secrets how to build a perfect relationship with your husband, for example, and then as a bonus you may give, for example, 5 presents like you can buy for your husband and make him happy, or your wife and make them happy, something like that. But it has to be related to the topic. So let's say your topic would be 5 languages of love. Okay, and in the bonus you would say actually how to apply one of the languages, which is giving gifts, getting gifts and presents as one language of love, and you give it as a bonus explanation of how this can be practically done. Yeah, so you keep it till the end. And then the last one is CTA, call to action again, just like here, but here is a short call to action. You just say a few words here, and that's it. You go further. You don't dwell on it. In this CTA, you can give more guidance to people. You can say, if you want to see more on this topic, go to my homepage and see the playlist with this such and such a name, or you can say just click on the next video that will be attached at the end, something like this. It has to benefit them. You don't have to just ask them something that you are interested in. It has to benefit people, so always think about that. Actual video content structure, this is this point, okay? Content, that's what I say, actual video content. So the structure is like that. You have a problem statement, you have a description of the problem, and then you have to explain why it's important to follow or not to follow your steps, and then you give the steps, the solution, okay? You can have different structures, like you can play with these elements here, but it's important that you follow similar structure, because it's just like a story, a story, it has its elements. Story, any story you say, any story you tell, movies you watch, anything like that is grabbing people's attention, it has some kind of structure and development. And when you have a spoken video, when you speak in your video, or you deliver educational content, or your opinion on something, let's say political opinion or economical opinion on some things, you want to say a problem statement. So the problem is like that. Then problem description is, the problem is like that because this is what is happening, this is what is happening, and this has to be resolved, but in more details, okay? Impact is when you say, look, if it's not resolved, there will be such and such an issue, or if it is resolved, we will have this problem gone for years, for example. And then solution is actual steps to resolve the problem. So you can say, so guys, now I have prepared for you 5 steps. This is how you do it. 1, do this. 2, do this. 3, do this, and etc. and so on. Now let's look at few structures. So you can see visually it would look like this. You have a problem statement, problem description, very little time to problem statement, very little time for problem description, and then you talk about impact, and like most of the time is about solution. Or you can have problem statement, description of the problem again, and talk about solution. And let's say you have 3 points how to solve it, and then you can talk about impact, and impact would be something that scares people and make them want to action, because you explain to them, look, if you don't do these 3 steps, this is what's going to happen. These are the stories that I know that happen to people actually, and just go ahead and do it, because otherwise the things will be terrible. This is how you deliver the content. This content is going to be grabbing people's attention because you are having structure and you are delivering it in a way that people can understand. Another structure would be more simple. You would say problem statement, you would talk about impact and solution. So you don't have description here. It's for the people who actually they recognize that they are problem, and you can have also it like this. You can have a problem statement, describe a problem. Let's say description would be a story. You can say a story about someone who is having this problem and how did they solve, and then you conclude with saying the solution is like this, steps number 1 to 3. How do you deliver the solution part? The solution part can be in different matters, like, or you say steps, or you say points, or you say story and lessons. Either you do an explanatory video tutorial. So what you have to ensure is that you are dynamic and fast. You don't dwell on it. You don't pull it, for too long. You just give these steps, explain them, and go ahead. Don't dwell on it. And then stick to the topic. This is the most important thing, because usually people, they are not sticking to the topic. You will have a script and you have to stick to the topic and talk only on the script. Now let's see the script for acting and stories. It's a classical narrative structure. which is called also 3-act structure, which means it has a setup, it has a confrontation, setup, confrontation, and resolution, where the setup is beginning, where you explain what is the setting, where this is happening, who are the heroes here. Now, in confrontation, you say this is the problems they are dealing with, and then the great problem comes at the end of this act, and then you have, this is a crisis, and then there is a resolution, and this emotion that you were building up is declining here, because you see now the consequences of the decisions that were taken in the crisis, and then wrap up like it's moral of the story. Script for acting. Let's see one more visual. That's very nice story, visual narrative structure. I didn't come up with it, I found it in the internet, but this is a great illustration, one of the best. And imagine it like you are climbing the mountain, so you have exposition. At the beginning is when you understand what's going on, background, it's establishing picture that you are showing. That describes the situation. Then rise in action is about characters who will face the problem, okay, what conflicts they are having, and then the problem itself that happens, like the peak of the tension should be here, and then fall in action is the part where people get face with the consequences of what happened in climax, and then resolution. Resolution is a moral here. Okay, that's how you build something, that a YouTube video that is a story. Let me show you which genres can be applied this narrative structure, and which genres can be applied the other structure of spoken video. Here we have different genres, just very general. Let's say tutorial. So what do you apply to tutorials? You apply this structure of problem statement, problem description, solution, impact, informational videos as well. More like you just shorten this part of the problem description, but not necessarily. It depends on the topic you are covering. And then entertainment. Entertainment is most probably where you apply the story. Blogs is where you apply the narrative again. Product reviews can be a problem statement, problem description, because when you do a product review, it is related to solving problem. The product solves problem. So you say, for the situations like that, here is your solution. So when you see some advertisement on TV, usually you see the product. Usually you see the product presented in a way as a solution to some problem. So the problem is shown first, and even when they build a story, they build up a story from showing the problem. Expert videos is, of course, also a problem statement, problem description, and solution, and etc. Reaction is a simple video, but like it's entertainment video, but still you need to build up there the tension. There should be some point that is the most hilarious there in these reactions. So you still need to structure video in this way, where you have something like as a setup, where you are explaining like what you are reviewing, why you are reviewing this, and then you review videos. They have to build up in a way that the most hilarious video is somewhere in the middle of this review, and then the tension has to fall. It's the same everywhere. It's the same structure everywhere. Challenges is usually compilation, so it's not applied so much. Here, top list is just, you say we're reviewing the top list, and you just go ahead into the content straight. So it's not, none of them are applicable. Content structures are not applicable here, but you must have hook here again as just a structure of the video should have the hook as usual, the CTA and things like this. So what I'm covering now is related to actual content structure, not the content, not the whole content of the video. Okay. So Q&As, of course, you apply problem statement and problem description, because if Q&A is on specific topic, then you have to cover why do you review this topic and what's the problem, and then Q&A is a way you deliver the solution. And interviews, maybe you don't apply problem statement, problem solution structure, but you also need to build up the interest. So you present your guest, you present what his area of influence, or why did you invite him, why he's interested, and then you start building up the most difficult questions for him. Gaming is just gaming, sports is sport reviews, that's like news, not applicable to what we are talking about. So next, what I recommend when you record a video, you have to have script, of course, but one more thing is that you have to practice on this script. Rushing straight into recording is a bad preparation, and it's going to be visible to your viewers very well, and it's not going to help you at all. First, you should read your script out loud, maybe a few times, so that you are confident in what's written and how it sounds, because sometimes what's written doesn't sound nice. So you will be confident in how it sounds, and if you will see if you should change something or not. Write down the structure to be your cheat sheet. This is going to be helping you to talk into the camera, because you want to avoid reading words on camera. You want to be avoiding, taking your eyes off the camera. So it's better you have this cheat sheet so that you just look one time aside, and then you come back to camera and just look into the camera straight. Remember that lack of preparation is not going to make your content competitive at all, and it's going to be seen, because good content is always well prepared. And before you write the script, this is what I advise. Understand what keywords are you going to be using and relying on in your SEO, search engine optimization. So in description of the video, in title, you will need to use keywords, and actually you have to build all your videos on the keywords you are working on. So first you research what's the demand on the market, in our YouTube market, what's the demand for which search words, and then on these words you build your video actually. So you have to include these keywords in video. Include these keywords in the script so that you don't forget, and highlight them. And just before I end this video, I want to remind you that when you plan your video, it's better you release less of the content, but better content. You better prepare. It means you need to invest time in content. You don't just, have idea and rush to release it. You need to release a good content, so be prepared and take your time to write script, and take your time to go through script and rehearse a little bit. And then it is better, of course, to release something than nothing, because if you dwell on, the quality is not good enough, and that's why I'm not releasing, then it means you're not going to learn. So you have to have a balance. You have to produce, okay, but you don't have to rush too much to produce and release unprepared content, because it's very visible, and it's not going to make you subscribers when the content is badly prepared and produced. So that's what you need to think about. Keep your balance, release your videos, and prepare your videos very well, as much as you can. Do maximum so that you are releasing everything on the top of your abilities at this point of time.